Hello everyone, I'm George from Ireland. Behind me is a statue of Cecil Rhodes in Oxford. There he is, really up high. And then it says in Latin, munificently expanded by Cecil Rhodes. So this is Oriel College, his old college, part of Oxford University. So the original name of Oriel was the House of St Mary the Virgin in Oxford. It's commonly called Oriel because it had a balcony and there's some Latin word like Aurelatorum. Not this building. This building here dates from about 1910, and you can tell that because below him you see Edward the Seventh and his son George V. And George V then became king in 1910 on the death of his father. So this is a very contentious statue. There was that Rhodes Must Fall campaign, been going for several years. Until about 5 years ago, no one said a word about it. I was here, was completely uncontroversial, even amongst most far left people. But as part of the effort to turn this ancient university into a Maoist madrasa, people want to have a cultural revolution, to have iconoclasm, smashing of these images of people whom they don't approve. People who lived centuries ago who did things which are now widely regarded as completely unacceptable and immoral. So Cecil Rhodes, I shan't go into the rights and the wrongs of what he did, but anyway, that's why it's contentious. So Rhodes, he also has a plaque to him around the corner on the house where he lived, because he's born in the west of England, I forget which county, the son of a clergyman. He was the youngest of several brothers. They were Anglican. So his family had high social status in their community. They weren't aristocrats, but they were very respected, although their income didn't quite keep pace with their social standing. And if you're an Anglican clergyman, it very much depended on your which parish you had. Some parishes would give you a very generous salary, others more miserly, and his family was getting a salary on the more miserly end of the scale. This is Oriel here on this side, and actually Oriel owns this building too, but some of it they rented out to shop units. So this is one of the oldest colleges in Oxford, dating back to the 14th century. And another thing is when the English Civil War was on, King Charles I rapidly lost control of London, and he set up his capital in Oxford, and he had Parliament meet him in Oxford. Those parliamentarians are still loyal to him, that's to say a minority. And then he lived in Christchurch, another college, and his wife, Henrietta Maria, I think she lived in Corpus, as in Corpus Christi, one of the colleges here. So, you know, you can see here bits of Oriel. I think that's the library, then there's the hall. We can't actually go into Oriel, to this main quadrangle. But what else about Rhodes? So he came up to Oxford after some time in South Africa. At 17, he'd moved to South Africa, where his elder brothers already were prospecting or already selling things. They were traders, because he was a delicate youth, and his infirmity was due to various pulmonary conditions, and he was told that the warmer and the more arid climate of South Africa would suit his delicate health, which is why he took ship for Cape Town. And after arriving in Kaapstad, he then went deeper into the hinterland, met up with his brothers, and they were actually selling things to people who were in mining. Only later they get into the mining game themselves. He became staggeringly wealthy, by some estimates the richest man in the world by the time he died. So this is the main part of Oriel. And I don't know where that balcony was. Maybe it's above the lodge. You go in there, that's the main entrance. Probably no longer exists. This is a bit of Oriel too, and that's the MCR, those three very big windows in the middle common res, and postgraduate students are there. I remember climbing up there. God, how did I climb up? There was something to stand on to climb on. Someone help me. And outside that front main building of Oriel, I remember one drunken evening 20 years ago, climbing out some girl's window with her onto the roof. Not the smartest idea on a wet night, but I lived to tell the tale. And you could be sent down for that. That was one of the few things that was instant expulsion. No second chances, no excuses, because there was this craze in the 90s of people climbing on buildings, and people fell to their deaths. The only way to do it is to let people know, if you climb on a roof, you will be expelled. That's it. And that's the only way we're going to save people's lives. Well, it worked. Anyway, so he then came back to Oxford. He had enough money to go to Oriel then, he fell ill quite soon because of the damp climate. So he had to go back to South Africa. So his 3-year degree, it took him about 10 years to do it. spending like a couple of terms here, particularly in the summer, and then returning to South Africa. to try and avoid the humidity and the cold here. And this is where he lived. He kept academic residences, because you not only had to sit the exams and pass them, you actually had to live here for a period of time. There's now various furloughs in his studies on account of his medical condition. So he only lived to the age of something about 45. And when he died, he said something like, was it so much to do, so little done? All right, that's enough about Cecil Rhodes. Toodaloo.